I'm out of here. I am leaving California. I've had it. I'm done. It is time to go. Baby, bye, bye, bye. This pretty much sums up how I feel right about now, as this narrative around California seems to be getting louder and louder every single day and more momentum behind it. And I honestly probably talk to 1 to 2 people a day who are considering leaving the state. And personally, I've already watched a bunch of my friends move their families and their businesses without even thinking twice. When big name entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan publicly shared their reasons.
When you look at the traffic, when you look at the economic despair, when you look at the homelessness problem that's accelerated radically,
the conversation began to get a whole lot bigger. So how bad is it actually getting in California, and why are hundreds of thousands of Californians making the move year after year? That's what we're going to unpack in today's video as we discuss the top reasons why people are leaving California and whether or not it financially makes sense to give up all that California has been known to offer. What's going on, guys? Mattia here, and welcome back to my channel. Well, I am sure you've heard some variation of this headline that there is a mass exodus happening out of California right now, and what I'm seeing and hearing on a daily basis, it only seems to be picking up steam. You got big name YouTubers dropping videos daily right now talking about they're making the move to another state. The wealthy are packing up and leaving in droves, and business owners are choosing to relocate their businesses to more tax-friendly states by the thousands. But the real question is, why exactly are they moving? And is this something that California leadership and its lawmakers can actually address? And can they improve things going forward, or is it too late? Well, many are concerned about what the future holds for this beautiful state. And if you're someone like me who actually lives in California, or even if you're considering making the move here, you're gonna want to hear the shocking details that I share in this video to determine whether or not this is a state that you can actually build the wealth, build the dream life, and really just enjoy the lifestyle that all California has to offer, that you want for yourself or for your family here in this state, by understanding what is actually going on and how does this impact your wallet and your pocketbook. And in order to help you make that decision for yourself, I'm gonna share with you the top reasons why people are leaving the state right now, what it could be costing the people who actually choose to stay in California. And at the very end, I'm even gonna share some news that I have in terms of my plan and my decision when it comes to staying or leaving California for good. But before we do, I wanna know your thoughts on California. Whether you're in the state, you're out of the state, is this state going down the toilet, or is this really just being blown out of proportion? It's not as bad as everyone thinks or says. Drop me your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, you know the drill. Don't forget to smash that like button to let YouTube know that you enjoy these videos. And if you are new to my channel, I appreciate you stopping by, checking out these videos. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And don't forget, hit that little notification bell to get updated on new videos weekly. Well, for the 7th straight year, more people left California than actually moved into the state, according to the 2019 census data, with more than 86,000 people heading to Texas, nearly 70,000 going to Arizona, and about 55,000 who left for Washington. And you can actually see here the other top states that Californians have chosen as they exited this state. And with everything that's taken place in 2020 and what's gone down in California specifically, I expect the reported number of Californians leaving the state this year is gonna be much higher by year's end than the 691,000 previously recorded in the year prior. So how bad is California according to those who are leaving or have already left? Well, in a recent University of California, Berkeley poll, 52% of registered voters said they've considered leaving the state for some or all of these reasons. 71% cited the high cost of housing and living altogether.
What?
58% cite high taxes and increasing taxes, and in turn with that, the mismanagement of the state's budget and use of those tax funds. 46% cite political culture and the changing policy they just no longer feel is in alignment with their own. And other honorable mentions were increasing crime and safety and climate management as a whole. First, let's start with the homelessness, the crime and safety concerns many are worried about in California. This is something that I am concerned about and I've seen get drastically worse year after year. Now, it's no secret that California has had a homelessness problem. You can basically see it firsthand when you drive through any major city in California, and it's become an even greater concern during the pandemic. Project Home Key, which was an initiative implemented by Governor Gavin Newsom. They used $600 million of Californian taxpayer money to basically house the homeless during the COVID-19 pandemic to prevent it from spreading out further, which in my opinion has turned into a major failure. Shelters have been forced to decrease capacity from being able to house the homeless, which in turn has forced more of them onto the streets and into areas that they really normally wouldn't go because of overcrowding in the camps and the frequented spots that they usually took shelter, and now they're starting to venture out into other areas. In turn, this has led to frequent sightings of public nudity, urination, increased break-ins and property squatting, and from my own firsthand experiences, common drug use and vandalism. You're seeing it more and more, which I personally see on a weekly, sometimes a daily basis when I'm out and about on the street in downtown Sacramento, and you can really see this in any major city throughout California. Then if you layer in increasing crime and the declassification of certain offenses, people begin to feel unsafe in areas and doing things that they normally didn't feel unsafe doing. For example, during the riots and protests that many cities across California have seen throughout 2020, looters were basically given free rein without any consequences. And to add to that, many prisoners in jail even were set free under the direction of Gavin Newsom. Meanwhile, the police have become targets for public outrage after, of course, the wrongful death of George Floyd, and many cities and city councils throughout the state have gone as far and focused heavily on defunding the police. Take the city of Los Angeles, for example, a city already amongst the highest of crime rates in the country. In July of this year, they slashed police funding, which cut the force to, I think, its lowest in over a decade. So taking all of this into account, it's no wonder why this was a noted point that many people weighed out when making the decision to leave California. Climate management has also become a major topic of discussion as many people have just grown tired of the wildfires destroying their cities, their communities, their homes year after year. It's been pretty devastating to see how many families have been forced to evacuate, have been displaced, have literally lost everything in these fires. And then if you add in the fact that you can't even go outside because the air quality is so bad, it's so smoky, so unhealthy, that's enough to drive anyone crazy and really to consider making a move when you're already being forced to self-quarantine and social distance during a pandemic. This year, California was noted to have had the worst air quality in the world, overtaking China, I think, at one point this summer. That is not a trophy you want to win. And then throw in consistent rolling blackouts and record-setting temperatures on top of that, that's enough to make anyone look at their living options a little bit differently, especially if the climate and the outdoor amenities you once enjoyed and was a main reason for being here in this state are no longer enjoyable for months on end throughout the year. Next, you have the political culture and California's political leadership. Now, I'll try and keep my comments as unbiased as I possibly can, but let's be honest, at the end of the day, you're gonna know where I stand. When you have a governor or House Speaker writing and enforcing legislation who is as hypocritical as people like Nancy Pelosi or Gavin Newsom, it's hard not to get a little frustrated and wonder if the leaders who are supposed to have your best interest in mind are actually going to do anything that benefits you moving forward. When you have Gavin Newsom forcing businesses to stay shut down, and you see hard-working citizens lose their jobs and their ability just taken away for them to provide for their families because of his policy, but then he's gonna allow his own winery to stay open, or he's going to push tax hikes while he quietly completes tax-free cash-out refis after receiving gifted mansions from his family, it's hard to respect leadership that lacks that kind of integrity. And how could you not be upset with the do as I say, not as I do example Nancy Pelosi sets when forcing masks upon others when she doesn't even wear them herself when she needs to go and get her hair done, and then she wants to go and blame the small business owner for setting her up. It's just a small example of the poor leadership California has seen for some time now, and it makes any business owner, any individual trying to survive, let alone thrive in this state, that much more uneasy. One study found that at least 13,000 companies moved out of state during the 2008 to 2016 period, and it noted that $76.7 billion in capital was diverted out of the state of California, along with 275,000 jobs during that time, with companies acquiring at least 133 million square feet of business office space elsewhere. So when you think of big and small businesses taking their jobs, their sales tax, their disposable income elsewhere, the state is missing out big time, which ultimately is just punishing the other residents of California and leaving them on the hook to make up for those downfalls due to negligent leadership. Think about this for a second. California's top marginal income tax rate is now 13.3%, which is the highest marginal tax rate in the nation, and legislators want to raise it all the way up to 16.8%. California is also home to a 7.25% sales tax, a 50-cent gas tax, and a slew of other taxes that literally drain the wallet of Californians across the state. And when you add in up to 37% federal taxes, depending on your tax bracket, all-time high California home values, and then increasing costs of living like rent and utilities and food costs, getting ahead in California becomes pretty tough, which is why we're seeing a continuing increase in the wealth gap. So if you're someone who wants to be a millionaire, you want to be financially free, when you sit down and you really dig into the numbers, you dig into how much money you need to make here, or on the other side, how much money you can save by living in a no income tax state like Texas or Nevada, or at least a much friendlier tax state, it makes you think a little bit harder and consider, I don't know if California is the place that I'm gonna unlock the dreams that I want to achieve. Take this example. Let's say you make $250,000 a year. If you can save 13.3% on income tax in a no income tax state, that is $33,250 that you get to put right back in your pocket. And let's say you invest that money wisely and get a modest 6% annual return, which you can easily do. That's another $1,995 in return. So when you add those together, that's $35,245 extra that you're saving by not living in California. So when you add up all of those savings, all of those gains year after year, that has the potential to make a big and significant financial impact on your lifestyle and for getting you to where you want to go a whole lot faster. And when weighing out what's most important to people, if they can check some of the important boxes that they want by living in another state and saving big financially all at the same time, you know, that's going to weigh into their decision, because let's be honest, money makes the world go round, and anyone who tells you that they don't make decisions with their pocketbook is flat out lying. The last thing that I would note is that many people are leaving the state because they no longer feel that the leadership and the policy that the leadership is putting in place in California is aligned with their core values, what they believe in, and really just how they want to live their lives or how they want to raise their families. Now, as you already know, California is as blue of a state as you can find in the United States. And if you are someone who is socially conservative or fiscally conservative, the increasing liberal policy can be, and oftentimes is, enough to drive them out. All in all, it's gonna be very interesting to see where California goes over the next decade. And even with all these issues that I just mentioned, many people feel the trade-off, it's worth it. When you look at all of the amazing aspects of California, it's still a pretty badass state. I don't know too many places in the world that you can ski and surf in the same day and get a wine tasting done in between. It's got great cultural roots, its diversity is deep, the food scene is untouchable. It has a robust job market, big tech hub. You can find all 4 seasons when it comes to the weather, and the activities and outdoor amenities within driving distance rival the best in the world. So that leads me to this, my decision. my decision on whether to leave the state that I was born and raised in, or to stay and fight for positive change and to make it better for all of those who live here and all of those who are coming in behind me. My family lives here, my friends are here, my businesses are here, my real estate assets are here. If you guys know me, you know I'm a closet fat kid. All the great food is here. I love the cultural, diversity of this state. I love the climate, even though it has been, more extreme the last few years. And in general, California is an outdoor playground that feeds my soul, getting the goods in the woods, hitting up the beach, everything in between. And while I do love money, and I give a lot of weight to what it can do for me, for my life, for my family, for people that I care about, for causes that I'm passionate about, I'm not going to give up on my home quite yet.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Yes, I do agree with a lot of the issues above, and yes, I do think our state's leadership is absolutely embarrassing, but that's also what inspires me to dig my heels in and fight for what I love. I've never been one to run or flee just because that's the easy route to go or when times get tough. Now, I will say, if it does continue to trend in this direction and it gets more extreme where I feel myself and my family's safety is at risk, the core values in which I believe in and I want my children to believe in are being threatened, and the negative financial impacts and ability just for me to operate my business and, pursue and achieve my financial goals far outweighs the pros, yes, I have been formulating a plan to tighten things up and to get out. And if I do, I wanna know, what are your thoughts? Where should I go? Drop your answers down below in the comment section. Let me know where I should check out next. Well, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this to the very end. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell for new videos weekly. And don't forget, check out all the resources and links to my real estate investing course. If you want to know more about getting on mentorship calls with me, free investment portfolio reviews, and other freebies, you can get all of those down below in the show description. And until next video, cheers, my friends.